Itamar Marcus. Itamar Marcus is the founder and director of Palestinian Media Watch, formed in 1996. Palestinian Media Watch is an Israeli non-government organization that studies Palestinian society from a broad range of perspectives by monitoring and analyzing the Palestinian Authority through its media and school books. Itamar continues today to supply the world through its bulletins and reports with precise understanding of the reality of the Palestinian Authority.
Today's topic is creating...
They can't hear you.
Can you hear me? With this bit? Okay, is this better? Okay. Creating Palestinian women suicide terrorists. Now, as you know, most of the suicide terrorists have been men. However, there have been a number of Palestinian women suicide terrorists. And I want to show you that aside from the regular promotion for men, what has happened in Palestinian society, specifically focusing on women and how women and young girls are actually drawn into this. Now, by way of introduction, let me tell you about our organization, Palestinian Media Watch, founded around 11 years ago to find out what Palestinians are saying amongst themselves in Arabic. Until that point, we knew what they were saying in English. We knew what they wanted us to hear. We wanted to know what were they saying amongst themselves in Arabic, and in particular, what were they saying to their children. And during this time, we have been able to understand their society, to anticipate what they're doing, because when you listen to what they're saying in Arabic, you really get a sense of what's happening. And that's what I'm going to present to you today. What have they been saying amongst themselves in Arabic? How have they been transmitting these messages, specifically on suicide terror, and specifically even more focused on women? Now, before you can understand suicide terror, you have to understand the Islamic concept, at least the way the Palestinians explain it, of shahada. Now, shahada is translated in all the English media as martyrdom, but it's very different than the martyrdom in the Jewish and Christian tradition, which would be after the fact. If someone died for their people, you would grant them this status. In the way Palestinian Islam is presenting it, this is not after the fact. This is something up front. This is something you're to aspire to. You were born in order to be a shaheed. It is literally, as I write here, worshiping God through violent death. Worshiping God through violent death. And I want to show you this in their own words before I get into how women are brought in, how they present shahada to their own people. Now, this is a religious leader on Palestinian TV. Listen to how he's describing it. He's not describing it as an act of desperation. It's something very different. Listen to his few words. Ah, there you go. Okay. Okay, so here what you're seeing, and this is what's so important, shahada is being presented as an honor and a privilege. Death for Allah is a privilege. It's a privilege. Then he goes on, I want to show you a different religious leader because it's significant to hear the way they are presenting this. The believer was created to fulfill Islam, to be a shaheed, or intend to be a shaheed. You were created to die. You were created not to achieve in life, but you were created to die this proper death of dying for Him. It is literally, we read in the Bible about these ancient societies that would sacrifice to God. This is what this is. It is a worship of God through death. In other words, God wants your death. This is what they're telling their people. The believer was created to be a shaheed. You were created in order to die for God. So this is a very powerful statement, and I want to show you how this comes through. Now, this is the way it has always been presented in Palestinian society. And it was always focused on men, until one day, January 27th, 2002, Wafa Idris was a Palestinian young woman, 21 years old. She was a volunteer on an ambulance. And she used that ambulance to come to Jerusalem. And then she went to the center of town and blew herself up, killing one Israeli and injuring 45. And what she did is she awakened the Palestinians to the idea that women can be suicide terrorists as well. And I want to show you how they turned her into this heroine throughout all of society. So the date here is January 2002. Just a few days later, already the Fatah, and this is not Hamas, this is the Fatah, this is Yasser Arafat, this is the mainstream. They had a gigantic march down the streets of Gaza. They brought all the little girls out to the street, and they had posters of Wafa Idris, and the posters said the Fatah movement proudly eulogized their heroine, martyr Wafa Idris. So it's proud. They're not mourning her death. they're proud of her death. And this started immediately, and then it continued. They had programs honoring her all the time. I want to show you, this is something very striking, because this is a concert. We're dealing with like the ultimate culture here. People go to a concert. Listen to the words of this concert that was repeatedly shown on Palestinian television.